Oh shit, no! Oh my god. For the two of us to meet again, it wasn't likely the time would work out. I hate it, but I'm taking a break, and I just... Okay, that wasn't the game's fault.
決まった。
What? That which do you want to die at thing? Yeah, I want to die in like, I don't know, a field full of flowers. Okay, actually I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say like a witty joke like, oh man, I'm gonna die in front of like a subway or something. But okay, let's be serious here. No, not yet. She nodded in a slightly lonely way. The expression was probably because she was going on their second temporary discharge. Meanwhile, I had yet to realize things had not been given my first temporary discharge from the doctors. That reminds me. In the end, she did decide on her own answer for herself. Pitter patter, pitter patter. Tsumi, the arrangements are done. Coming here and speaking was some older lady. Most likely it was the girl's mother. You know her name! Why you call her the girl's mother? Or I guess it's just like a general thing. To me, since I was sitting nearby, the mother buried her head slightly. Well, it's about time we'll be going. Are you ready? Well then, excuse us. Once again, giving me a small bow, the lady made to leave the place. Alright. And then she stretched out her hand to the girl that was daughter. That was daughter, that was a weird sentence. But the girl didn't make to leave the place. Didn't make to leave the place? What is that? What? Even when her mother tugged on her hand, for some reason she didn't make to stand from the folding chair. Make to... Wouldn't it just be she didn't stand from the folding chair? Or I guess... What's wrong, Satsumi?
少し苦しい。
It hurts where? Your chest, stomach? Okay, I know I'm being a little bit annoying, but I feel like if her mom's just... Maybe that's why her mom... I'm just gonna assume that her mom's gonna be like that. I don't know. That's what comes to me. Wait here! I'll go call the doctor now! Pitter patter, pitter patter. Yeah, I know. This is a serious game. In a rush, the slapping sound of a guest slipper rang out, and the lady ran towards the nurse's station. Left in that place was the girl still hunched over in the folding chair, and me. The condition or its progression I knew absolutely nothing about. The things that I knew were her name was Satsumi, blood type O, only the things that were on that white bracelet. However, we were residents of the 7th floor, and at least she was worse than me. What is that supposed to be? It's like, oh man, good thing she's worse off for me to die than I am. Say, until the doctor comes, want to lay down there? As I spoke, I pointed to the couch. It was something that was placed in the corner of the room from before. I don't know what couch you're talking about, but I'm assuming it's on the other side. Look, I'll support your back.
別に。もう平気よ。
Alright. But just that reply, she quickly stood up on her own. Hey, you... Don't strain yourself. Faster than I could finish, quickly she walked out into the hall. She just like bounced from this conversation. Night after the lights were put out. Alrighty, okay, nightfall. As always, holding a book of manga. Unable to sleep, I wandered around the hospital. And then, with the lights off, there was pitch dark lounge. There, I found her figure. Yo, bro, you're here again? What's wrong? I'm feeling bad again? Are you sure? While looking out the window, that was all the girl replied. In the end, it seemed that the girl's temporary discharge had been postponed. With that, while I didn't know what the next opportunity would be, it would most likely the postponement was not in a few days but weeks. Say, I'm just wondering. But today, you were faking being sick, weren't you? Just to hang out with good old protagonist. Well, the term faking sickness itself might have been a bit strange. After all, we couldn't really be said to be in a normal condition. The point being that you didn't want to go on a temporary leave?
意味がわからないわよ。
She's just like, what are you talking about? I actually was sick? Thank you very much. Well, you won't have any more after, right? To that question, she remained silent and gave no reply. From before, she had repeatedly asked me which place I'd planned to die in front of a subway on 5th Street. And to that, I had not yet decided, while the girl had to say she didn't like home or the 7th floor. You really don't have another place to go, don't you? I mean, I know like a subway on the corner of 12th. Okay, I don't know, those are actually real streets by me, but
どうなのよ。
she's like, why do you want to go to the subway to diet? That's such a shitty subway. You gotta go to the other one on like the corner of like I was supposed to say Walgreens. I was in like some random Woodward street. No, nothing. In the usual lounge, now pitch dark. As always, without even looking my way, the girl sat looking out the window. Even though it was still 11 o'clock, and this place is called a hospital, most of the lights were already out. I mean, that's kind of normal to have like your like 11 o'clock like lights out. That's like late. This place was ordinary and extraordinary days meet. Moreover, we were residents of the 7th floor. Already, we could choose nothing outside the 7th floor and home. From that dark floor, 7th floor window, the girl continued looking out the outside world, the ordinary world. Still, the buildings and houses shone brightly with light. The roads home were filled with the figures of people hurrying home. I myself had only barely realized my situation, but already I was a resident of the 7th floor, a person of the extraordinary world. Probably I was already unable to return to the other world. I mean, okay. What are you gonna do now, bro? The me whose time has stopped. Numerous seasons, white overcast skies without even the need to exchange words with anyone. In the beginning, from the window I watched lively children go to school, people walking quickly. While I got tired of that, I always watched the television. There was nothing else to do, nothing else I could do. Even if outside the window it was snowing, the screen had the sun. Without cold, heat, or pain, a dream world spread before my eyes. I sought peace in imaginations. I only greatly increased my knowledge, simply accumulating more and more meaningless trivia? Was it trivia? Oh, they spelled trivia wrong. Okay. At some point, the things shown on television lost their sense of reality. Next was in the books and games, and then family. Finally, even my own body. As if watching some stranger, I lost the ability to understand it as real. That was why when I came to the 7th floor, I wasn't surprised. If I closed my eyes, always, the world would disappear. That's why I thought I was fine with it. Made myself think I was fine, and soon I would be discharged a second time. The next time I come here, I might not be able to walk on my own, even though I knew that I felt my unresisting self to be wretched. I felt myself, who didn't even have a destination, to be ridiculous.
時間を止め、心を止め、胸に大きな傷跡を作り、
Huh?
それでも22年も生きてきたのに哀れだと思った。
22, what a young year. Oh! Now we're moving forward, huh? After a few days more, the cloudy days ended yesterday, and the high winter sky spread wide. Alright, surprisingly, my father came to visit. In the beginning, he had a pained look on his face. However, he said something about my insurance. At the time, his eyes weren't sad. Well, I have to talk a bit with the doctor. Saying that, my father went down the hall. He seemed to be heading to the place from before, the gloomy conference room. Once again, I was alone in the hospital room. With nothing to do, I stretched my hands out to the weekly magazines brought for me from the store. They were there along with the fruits and juices that he had always brought when visiting. Next to the basket with fruit inside. Just in front of the melons I hated. Oh my god. Alright. Keys. What came into view were car keys. Giant silver keys. It was the coupe father was so proud of, with the interior he apparently had modified. Before I had asked on a whim to borrow it and had been quickly turned down, the keys to that car. And in my pajamas, chest pocket, the driver's license. Even though it had lost its debut that day, I had continued to carry the license. It was proof of my once ordinary days. Oh. Clank. Without a word, I grasped the keys. I just went around and did it. I didn't even know the exact reason why. Simply, I just did that. It was like a single scene on television somewhere. Then, taking the few days' worth of medicine that I had been given, I just placed it in a bag from a convenience store. I headed down the hall. Oh my god, he's gonna steal his dad's car. Slipping by the nurse's station. I quickly continued to walk towards the elevator. Plastic bag in my right hand, car keys in my left. My chest pocket, the license that was supposed to have lost its debut, lay hidden. In front of the lounge, the next thing that came to his sight was the figure of the girl I was always watching the television. Sitting in a cheap folding chair, today she was also bored looking at the screen. Hey, Setsumi, do you want to come and drive? Like, sit in the back of my car so we can drive around downtown? Hey, you. Is that interesting? You know her name! You know her name, Setsumi! Why do you keep calling her you? Oh, was it? Nope, not at all. The usual exchange. Her eyes were, as usual, seemingly looking far away. Well then, shall we go together? Setsumi. Eh? Oh no, eh? While showing her the car keys in my hand, I continued speaking. I also don't want home. Setsumi. Setsumi. I also don't want the 7th floor. So, shall we go together? Setsumi. Oh no, oh, was that her saying the dialogue? I totally missed that. With that word, the girl stood up from the folding chair. Lightly, her long hair swayed and brushed the tip of my nose. And so the girl also packed a few days' worth of medicine into a plastic bag. Then the two of us placed the 7th floor behind us. I turned off the boring television. The shrilly laughing voice of the host was silenced. The two of us in pajamas got onto the elevator and descended from the highest floor to the first. When we came to the first floor, instead of the entrance for emergencies, normally admittance and discharges, we deliberately left from the outpatient entrance and headed to the parking lot. Well, yeah, you want to be conspicuous about it if we're gonna leave. Whew! The moment we left the building, a cold winter blast struck us in the face. In the parking lot, with few obstructions, the wind felt even stronger. Together, while we carefully peered around searching, we walked around the parking lot. Then, after searching for a while, we finally found my father's car. Oh my god! The car! A silver coupe. Coupe? Is that what they would call it? Coupe? The car Dad was so proud of that he even fussed over the interior. Quickly inserted the key and operated the door. Look! Here, you can get in. Tatsumi. No, I don't think that's how you say alright. Alright. Slam. I sank myself into a deep driver's seat, but the girl in the passenger seat, because of her size, she can't even sit. Even if she sat normally, it would be difficult for her to see the front. How sure is she? Oh my god. Next, I put the key in my hand into the ignition. As I turned it, I stepped on the accelerator. It was all exactly like what the training center had taught. Boom, boom. In moments, the sound of the engine reverberated in the interior. After that, just have to release the parking brake and let go of the clutch. With this, we can go anywhere. Should we be able to go anywhere? Well, here we go. Tatsumi. The girl gave a small nod. Instead of responding, I shifted into second gear, and quietly the car set off. So where are we going? Tatsumi. Subway? Okay, as the chassis rattled from the unfamiliar clutch, slowly it went on. Tatsumi. It's shaky, isn't it? Yeah, it's the first time in the car after all. And while we're on the subject, it's the first time driving since getting my license. Tatsumi. Eventually, it appeared before us, the hospital parking lot exit. Just beyond it was a large road. I pulled the car out into the lightless intersection. Honk honk. From behind came the sound of a car horns blaring at us, and we suddenly pulled into the lane. The unfamiliar clutch ground when the gears shifted while the silver coupe ran in fits and starts. Perhaps the car behind us was especially angry. It didn't seem like they stopped honking for a while. Even so, without paying them any particular mind, I drove. The feeling of of reality was somehow thin. Hey, you. Oh, Tatsumi. Nani? Are you afraid? Tatsumi. Being afraid. Would be better? No, not really. Because I'm an ace at driving even though my license expired like a year ago. Still morning, the sun was high. Looking beyond the windshield, the January winter sky was painted so blue it somehow felt sorrowful. It was like we had a destination. That day, under the winter sky, the car swayed with the unfamiliar clutch. That day, in our pajamas, the two of us aimed for the national road. That winter day. Around when that so very high sun was turning orange. We continued the drive, simply at random. The car continued running. And then, when the area turned into an unfamiliar place, I'm stopping for a bit. Tatsumi. Alright, where are we stopping? At a park? Finally, I brought the car to a stop. Outside of the city area, but by the roadside somewhere, a lonely place that didn't seem to have much traffic. Stopping the car in a place I didn't even know the name of. For now, I started inspecting the interior. If there were things that could even be the slightest bit useful, we had rushed out without any preparation, but I could see that we would be in trouble very soon. While thinking about that first, I searched the dashboard in front of me. There really isn't much, is there? Just a few hundred yen worth of what appeared to be change from the expressways. The rest were just a few books of manga and a disposable camera. It wasn't like we had a destination, but it seemed like that even the navigation system installed in the car was broken. And also, the amount of money I had was about 8,000 yen. While leaving, I had hurriedly stuffed that much into my pocket. With that and adding in the change in front of me, it could barely make 9,000 yen. Of course, it wasn't like I had been expecting to find anything in the car from the start. But with this budget, we'd probably be in trouble really soon. I could definitely believe that we wouldn't find decent lodging. Even so, I doubt that the girl had any money. Tatsumi. Something wrong? No, it's nothing. Oh well, it didn't matter. I should have known this from the start. To begin with, it wasn't like we had thought up arrangements or plans before acting. Instead of that, right now I wanted to move. I didn't want to sit still. Alright, we're gonna move again. Under the now darkening sky, once again, the silver coupe ran. By the way, are you hungry? As I drove, I spoke to one sitting next to me. Thinking about it, we hadn't eaten since the morning. For now, let's go to a convenience store. Tatsumi. Yeah. Hey, don't be so picky. Compared to the 7th floor's food, it's absolutely had to be better. Tatsumi. At my words, the girl returned silence. Those downcasted eyes, their line of sight was on the pink pajamas that she wore. Ah, now they say that's right. As I spoke, I looked down at my own clothes. It wasn't like there was no problem inside the car either. For now, we had to do something about these clothes. Making that decision, I turned the wheel from the main road and headed into town. How much is like 9,000 yen? After running a while, the place that we came to was some street I didn't know the name of. It really must be near some station since it was a street where about that number of people could be seen. What is this asterisk? Not asterisk. Like carrot. In a place like this, you'd think there'd be one. While glancing around the area searching, I moved the car on, silently raising my body in the seat while driving. Ah, I found it! In a short while, I spotted a coin-operated laundromat. It appeared quite run down and was in the first floor of the small apartment building. This place might just be perfect. A short distance away from the entrance, I parked the car. Alright, just wait a bit. Tatsumi. Slam. Even the girl who was making a puzzled face, I headed to the coin-operated laundromat on foot. Oh my god, he's gonna steal clothing! Just past the automatic doors, my nose picked up the scent of bleach and detergent. Inside it was just as rundown as the exterior, filling the old washing machine with dryers. There's no one around. I heard that in an empty shop. Grumble. There. Raising a low sound while spinning was a single unit in use. Quickly approaching the machine, I started to check the timer. It looked like 200 yen had been inserted and it was set for 30 minutes. And it had only been going for 5 minutes. Most likely until it was about done, the person was passing time somewhere. Coming to that conclusion once again from the entrance, I looked around for someone that seemed like that sort of person. Then, making sure no one was inside, I placed my hand on the revolver's drying door and suddenly opened it. Ka-ching! Opened in the middle of a drying cycle, the machine was forced to stop temporarily. Ignoring the blast of heat and moist air, I took out the mass of half-dry clothing from inside. Then carrying it just like that in both hands, I looked around once more before I put the shop behind me. Quick slam. Tatsumi. Ah. Seeing both of my hands filled with laundry, the girl raised a bit of a surprised voice. However, paying no heed to that, I threw them in the back seat. Well, we're going. Tatsumi. Vroom. Alright, I mean, I guess. I don't think it's that weird to walk into a convenience store in your pajamas, but alright. With one hand on the wheel. With one hand on the wheel, I eyed the pile of laundry I had thrown in the back. At a glance, there it was. All flashy looking jeans and sweatshirts. All the sizes seemed to be on the large side. They were still wet, but inside the car, with the heat from the vents, they'd probably be dry soon. Later, change into whatever you want. Do me. There was no particular reply to those words either. She simply eyed the pile of laundry. Well, what else could we do? Tatsumi. I know. Even for me, it wasn't like I did this because I liked it. Plus, while the money we had wasn't being held for any particular purpose, with what we had immediately on hand, buying new clothes would have been a tight situation. When the face of the moon really came out and we had driven for a while, I stopped the car near some park somewhere. It was most likely some kind of children's park, tucked in the middle of a residential neighborhood. In the middle of that, I began to search through the clothes stolen earlier. Most likely because of the heating in the car, the laundry was totally dry. Well, that must be like blast heating. Looks like it really is all guy stuff. Exactly as when I had glanced at them, it was all gaudy jeans and sweats. Most likely it was someone about my age, and size-wise something close. Wow, how convenient! Okay. And then, while sitting somewhere in the driver's seat, I grabbed a pair of suitable jeans and sweatshirt and started to change. Hey, you change into something too. Tatsumi. Tatsumi. They're all too big. Then you're going to always be in pajamas? Tatsumi. Tatsumi. Alright. Can't reply. The girl took hold of a pair of jeans and opened the door. Hey, where are you going? Tatsumi. Change. With just that answer, she began walking towards the restroom that could be seen in the park just ahead. Think. Hey there, that was quick. In moments, the girl returned. The pink pajamas that she'd been wearing up until now was in her hand. She had changed into jeans and a white sweatshirt. Well, it's a good thing that you managed to put something on, Tatsumi. There was no reply. It was something I saw coming. The size was too much and draped rather heavily on her. Since the jeans were too long, the legs were rolled up to a number of times. Meanwhile, the top sweatshirt was folded over in the same way. Tatsumi. The pajamas were better. Okay, Tatsumi, you don't have any right to complain when you're the one who's like, oh, I don't want to go into a convenience store with pajamas on. Okay, back to reading. Well, don't say that. It's a bit warmer this way. Tatsumi. My word, she gave me just the slightest dissatisfied look. I guess something more feminine would have been better. Tatsumi. Not particularly. Her usual response. Even though I had thought she was dissatisfied with the poor, poofy sweatshirt, soon she returned to being expressionless. Sha! What is that sound for rain? Okay. Suddenly it started raining. Well, that sucks. As if I had forgotten how to stop, rain spilled from the cold January sky. Looking from inside the car, countless raindrops on the windshield. One by one, they would grow too big to stick. A number would gather, overflow, and turn into a rivulet. What? Then, while flowing down, they would involve other rivulets and flow even more. I guess rivulets are like when water, like two water goes in together and then they just form into one big water. The two of us just sat gazing at the rain from inside the car. In some parking lot somewhere, a lonely place in the mountains, having finished shopping at a convenience store, we were spending the night. On the menu for each of us was 2 rice balls, 100 milliliters of Pocari, and half an order of fries. It's been a while having this stuff, right? Tatsumi. While one hand holding the convenience store rice ball, the girl murmured. Thinking about it normally, it wasn't all that splendid, but compared to the food on the 7th floor, it was good enough. What did you eat on the 7th floor? Like, what? And then, when both of us reached out toward the fries, suddenly the girl's hand stopped. Is something wrong? Tatsumi. Not particularly. While answering, her line of sight turned toward the whitely fogged windshield. There by the roadside, a number of white flowers could be seen. Oh, is it the Narcissu? Oh my gosh, even though I looked this up, they're dandelions. Y'all, they're dandelions. White flowers soaked by the rain. I didn't know whether they were planted by someone or were there naturally, but those flowers seemed familiar. Those were Narcissus? Tatsumi. Narcissus. Daffodils. Oh, okay, yeah, daffodils. And those were daffodils. I didn't know too much about plants and all, but daffodils I had at least heard the name before. Also, I had recalled that even though the girl would normally speak only rarely, she would uncharacteristically join in conversations on this topic. That's why I went along and continued to speak. And I guess these are also different from those two. Tatsumi. Oh, I don't even need to say it. Strictly speaking, they're different. Oh no, they're quite rare things, aren't they? Not particularly. They're everywhere. Everywhere like where? Tatsumi. Darn it, I did it again. For me, it wasn't like I put very much meaning in the statement. It was intended simply from the flow of conversation as a natural question. And yet, she thought for a moment, then slowly opened her mouth. West. West? Awajishima. Famous. Hey wait, Awajishima, you mean? Just how far away do you think that is from here? For someone who had only just started driving like me, I couldn't even make a guess. Most likely it was easily around 700 kilometers. Nope, kilometers. Even using the expressway, I couldn't even begin to estimate the time it would take. First, considering our funds, it certainly didn't seem enough. Even when we studied off the expressways and used smaller roads, the cost of gasoline itself seemed ominous. Look, don't say unreasonable things now. There's no way we could go to such a place, right? Tatsumi. Who said anything about wanting to go? Eh? I was asked, so I simply answered. With just that answer, the girl once again gazed beyond the windshield at those flowers. The glass inside the car, cold from the rain, was fogged white. She cast her gaze even beyond that. Not like I want to go there either. However, it also not like if we had another place to go. Oh no, are we gonna plan to go there? Alrighty, I guess we're gonna plan to go there.